Hi everybody, this is Will Bowen with today's JumpStart, continuing our conversation about the Yamas and the Niyamas of Hinduism. Once again, that's basically the Ten Commandments, if you think about it, their version. And unlike the Ten Commandments, which is 10 thou shalt nots, the Yamas are thou shalt nots, and the Niyamas, which we'll get to, are the thou shalts. So we're up to the fourth of the Yamas, and that is BRAHMACAHRYA. Now, it literally means appropriate sexuality. Whoa, wait a minute. Somebody mentioned sex. Oh my God. There's very little mention of sex, even though it's how we all got here, in the Bible. It's very interesting because, for example, if you look back and you read where it says that someone uncovered someone's feet, that was a euphemism in the Bible for having sex. Sex was never just addressed. Well, here it is. The fourth of the five of the 10, ultimately 10 commandments of Hinduism talks about sex. Another thing I really like about Hinduism, and I will get back to this, I promise you, but it all ties in together, is that Hinduism has multiple gods, yes, and each of them have a consort. In other words, this idea of celibacy is not something that is celebrated. Sexuality is celebrated because it's seen as a very natural thing, not only something that people do, but gods do as well. So first and foremost, I just wanted to point out that I think it's cool that Hinduism in its basic tenets is even talking about sexuality, because in most cases, in Judaism, Christianity, and everything, it's just blah, blah, blah. That's not even there. So BRAHMACAHRYA means appropriate sexuality. Now notice there's no judgment there. It doesn't say heterosexual. It doesn't say only on Thursdays. It doesn't say married couples. It says appropriate. And what is appropriate? Appropriate is that which does not harm someone else. That's really it. That which doesn't harm someone else. In other words, being a person who is sexual, as are all people, making sure that your sexuality does not harm someone else. I was listening to a This American Life episode, a podcast, and it was a very long thing about a man who had sexually harassed a woman at work. And he ultimately ended up apologizing. Now, by sexually harassing, he really just gave her too much, and I'm not negating this. He was wrong, okay? The man was wrong. But the way it manifested for him with sexual harassment was giving the woman too much positive attention over her coworkers and ultimately asking her out, complimenting her, etc. So now his sexuality was he was just being flirtatious and he was in love. By the way, he was her boss, so it was just totally wrong, okay? Totally wrong. But he thought he was being appropriate in his sexuality. The thing was, he was being totally inappropriate. So as we get further on into this discussion of the Yamas and the Niyamas, you're going to discover that it's not only about certain behaviors, it's about looking hard at yourself to see whether or not you are doing things that you don't even realize. So take into your own mind, and I'm not going to go too far in this, what you consider to be appropriate sexuality. Do unto others that which you would have done unto you. That sounded very, very like a terrible mixed metaphor of Jesus' teachings and eroticism. But you know what I'm trying to say. In other words, if it would hurt you, or more importantly, if it would hurt that other person in their eyes, don't participate. That's what BRAHMACAHRYA is all about. So what do you think? Share your questions and comments in the comment section below. I respond to them all personally. Enjoy today. We'll talk tomorrow. Bye-bye.